What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes. Sunday morning, 9:20 on March 22nd, 2026. Heading on an emergency service call. We got an existing residential client that's got a Burnham gas-fired boiler that's making a horrible screeching sound. I'm gonna bet it's the circulator. I got money on the circulator. Issue started last night. He turned the power off. Didn't want to call us overnight, but left a message. And I said, we'll see you in the morning. So he does not have a maintenance agreement with us. So he's paying that emergency trip charge and that first hour of labor, which is also the emergency rate. He's interested in the maintenance plan. So hopefully I'll be able to record some content while I'm there, diagnosing the issue, getting up and running after completing the repair, and hopefully, God willing, signing him up for a maintenance plan. Let me get that first one for the week. You ready, guys? We're right around the corner. Let's go. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Here for the heat.
Come on in. Huh?
Here for the
You're here for the heat. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you, sir?
Leave your family on a Sunday morning.
Listen, you gotta pay the bills, right?
You know what?
Gotta pay the bills. Let's go see what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. He quit though.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh man.
If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen.
Yeah, that's a dead wire. That's not even connected. So.
This is quite creative with spacing.
Yeah.
Okay, I was looking for some fresh air openings, so you have one up
Yeah,
there
and
and one down there, but having it locked in like a little closet like this is not good for the flame and combustion, just so you know. But so you have a horrible noise coming from one of the zones here, is that what you said?
I think it was the black one.
That one there?
Yeah.
All right, let's turn the power on. This is the only switch you turned off?
Yes.
Well, it definitely sounds not normal. Let's see what the pressure is here. Oh, you got some pressure there.
I noticed on one of your videos that I saw that you have a hole, that you put a hole here and check something.
The combustion,
I never
yes.
had that, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
Did you have a maintenance plan with us? No, right?
No.
Oh, okay. You should probably do that.
Yeah, I was planning on doing it when I spoke to Carlos, and I think he actually put it on the bottom of the thing. I thought he said somebody was going to call me.
Oh yeah, you can sign up while we're here.
Okay.
That's weird, but okay. So that noise.
So yeah.
So now the noise went away, but
It was like, originally I thought it was something in my kitchen. I ran into the kitchen. I was like, "What is that noise?" And I thought it was my coffee pot was on making a noise. And then I looked outside. It wasn't outside. And I ran down here and I heard it was like a grinding
yeah.
noise.
Right.
Coming
Yeah.
from the.
Yeah. You have a little
This
drip
black
there
one.
too, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little drip right there. Okay, so we have a valve there.
Yeah,
I can't tell if it's. Well, it is circulating.
That I have this radiant floor heating put in a long time ago, like upstairs. But
Okay.
Really, that hasn't even been working, so I don't know.
Oh no.
No.
Oh.
That's a different issue, I would imagine. But
Well. Yeah, that radiant is.
cold, man.
Yeah, kind of. Not really, but this is warming. This zone is warming up, which is this.
Circulator pump for that? Is that what
Yeah, that's a circulator for the. That one's a circulator for your, I guess, your radiant.
Yeah.
You have two loops leaving, it looks like, and then one comes back over there. I don't know. You have. You have 3 heating thermostats here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that I put heat in the basement, which I thought I didn't need, but
Yeah.
I figured they were doing it. The spoiler's from like 2003, maybe.
Okay, let's see.
At the time I moved in, they offered like for free.
Yeah, years ago. Yeah, it was manufactured in June 2000.
Yeah, Carlos was here. He did the, he cleaned it out. I had a guy here before Carlos, and he's telling me that one of the Burnham pipes. Oh, you're gonna probably need a new boiler soon because one of your
The burner tubes? Yeah.
had a hole in it.
Oh, so you get a new burner tube.
So he's telling me you can't get them.
You can.
So I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that.
Yeah, that was the end of that guy.
Again. And he's the one that put this in, but it was Carlos crimped it because he just left it in. But I guess maybe he left it in so he could pull it out.
Yeah,
and
but
get it behind it.
Yeah, but it doesn't even go to the floor like it's supposed to.
Right.
Whatever. Okay. The circulator's quiet. You tell me. What do you want to do? You want to change it? You want to?
Do you think that? I mean, what do you think caused that?
You probably either had a piece of debris,
Right.
you know, like something stuck in it, maybe.
Right.
And then when you turned it off,
It cleared.
it might have, but it is. Listen, it is warm. Let's see if it gets hot. It's really not that hot. Yeah. Yeah, I come out too.
I ran by.
All right, so it's 150-ish degrees here. That does not feel like 150 degrees. So I don't think we are circulating the water. So like it's warmer than this one, which is not on, and this is your radiant mixing valve, but it should be hotter because this boiler is hot. The boiler's almost 170 degrees now, and I can keep my hand on that pipe, so we ain't circulating, so we should change that
Maybe
circulator.
that's why it's quiet because it's broke.
It may be, yes. It may be, yeah. But you also said it was burning hot to the touch, right?
Oh yeah. It was,
Yeah, so that's a telltale sign. It probably burnt out.
like,
Something might have got stuck in it.
that hot. I said, oh, Jesus, what is
Yeah.
this thing?
First things first, let's spray down those bolts. Some WD-40.
Now, because you're opening this up, do I gotta bleed all my radiator valve?
So, great question. So you have a valve here on the supply side,
Right.
and you have a valve on the return side,
Which is good.
which is good. However, you have this cheaper air vent right here,
Yeah.
and there's another one there. Maybe we'll be all right.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
But otherwise, we may end up having to do so, a couple of them, because I got to shut down the water, which I'm going to do right now by closing that. Mark boiler water supply, and that's this 1/2-inch line going into that pressure reducing valve, which takes that house pressure, which is 50, 60, 70, actually probably higher here because you're right next to the water tower, and bring that down to 12 psi there. Now, let's put that there. Let's drain some water out of this boiler from the. Actually, let's close valves first. Let's close this. Let's close this radiant zone. I don't know what this is. This is cold water. This is that. That's that. 1, 2, 3. Good. And 4. Let's go on the other side. There's one valve there. And I believe that's it. 1, 2, 3.
So the amount of water that you're drawing out would only be from there down?
Well, from where all the valves are. So like here, there, and down. So
all of that's coming out.
yep. And now we have to put this there into there, and
this water I can dump in the toilet?
well, it's not that hot yet, but maybe a shower. You have one down there?
Yeah, hot you wouldn't want to put in the toilet.
No, because you'll crack the porcelain. Correct. So there's that 26-year-old valve boiler drain right there, and so now we're draining, and that pressure gauge is now at 0. So we don't gotta take all the water out, but probably maybe half this bucket, because we don't have to drain the boiler completely. We just want to take the pressure out. That way I can take that circulator out. And it looks like to take that circulator, I'm going to be taking out that flue. Let's... Oh, I just charged this light and it's dying already.
Oh,
Is the right size? Negative. Okay. Lefty loosey, righty tighty.
that's it.
Okay. So we're going to loosen up these bolts. And we took some water out of the boiler, but we have this electric panel right here. So let's grab that rag. All right. Just to cover up that. All right, so now that top one is out. Let's get this bottom one. Okay. This is what I get for trying to be a contortionist. Right, my wrist is like... Okay, so now we have the upper bolts out.
Right.
And if you hear it, hear that?
Right.
So I'm just going to crack open this valve a little bit. See? And then we go like this.
Okay.
See?
I got you.
And now the water's gone.
Oh, wow.
So now that's free. We have to do the bottom bolts, and then we slide in the new circulator after making sure that the flanges are clean. The face of the flange, sorry. This is not the right
What
side.
do you
You'll see.
What'd you say?
The what?
What'd you say? You slide into what?
New circulator.
Oh.
You know, this water heater right here. We need to deport the water heater. So we're in Franklin Square. This is a nice red town.
Yeah, it is, baby. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
This fucking world is going to shit.
Yeah, tell me about it.
You want me to try and get it from here?
Mm. Oh, let's see. Let's see, where is that? It's right there.
Yeah.
Why does it want to go on there? Oh, because it's... I think I was doing it the wrong way. There you go. Is the top of the bolt moving?
Yeah, it's spinning on.
It's still moving?
Yeah, they got it.
There you go. Perfect. See, sometimes you need a third hand.
There you go.
I do say this quite frequently that I'm here at work
Right.
to create the content that will probably empower someone who's younger than me
Right.
to do something that he didn't do yesterday. So
Yeah.
that's the whole
Yeah,
blessing in
YouTuber's
disguise.
great, and it empowers me to do, like, I fix my own, like, the dryer. You know?
Yeah.
I do a lot of things off of YouTube, and this one I said, no, I'm not. This is out of my.
Out of your league.
Yeah, I mean.
I hear you.
Yeah, just.
So real quickly, you have this circulator here.
Right.
You have one over there. You have one up there. Mm-hmm. Now these two circulators are on the return, so you're not pumping away the way you should. You're pumping back to the boiler, right? And listen, it's a moot point to bring this up, but I'm also saying this to educate as well. Right. So you always want to have circulators on the supply side as much as possible, and there's a lot of physics behind that, but we have to put it back where it was because it's the easiest for this thing. I could, reinvent the wheel here and put a circulator there on the supply, but we're going to take this 1 hour job and make it into a 3.5 hour job, and that's not necessary on a Sunday. Okay.
I mean,
well, your boiler is 26 years old now, according to the manufacture date. Right. Almost 26 years old, right? Yeah. Listen, until the cast iron block itself leaks, or has failed, indefinitely. Okay. All these parts that are on here can be replaced. Every single one. Yeah. Even those little burner tubes that you were saying before that the guy said and
I was calling bullshit on the guy right away.
Smart.
I said you can't get it on
on eBay.
Yeah,
or junkyard. Yeah.
Well, maybe I might be able to.
No, they do sell them. They do so. I absolutely. If we pull up the manual and I get the part number for it, I guarantee you can find it in less than like 10 seconds.
But then your guy looked at it and he goes, "No, there's nothing wrong with it."
Yeah. So
I was like, "This guy's fucking fool."
yeah, there are a lot of guys out there. There are sales techs,
Yeah.
and they're just looking to make the most amount of money out of each service call, and not actually provide service. So
And this guy's
whatever.
a local guy. He lives like two blocks from me.
Yeah. Here's that circulator. Okay, and one of the things that you're gonna need to notice is the arrow.
Yeah.
So the arrow is the direction of flow.
Right.
So the arrow is going back to the boiler like this, right? So if we install it like this, it's kind of like upside down, right? But if we RTFM, read the factory manual, it will tell you that you need to move the head, right? So to make sure it matches the direction of flow. So you can actually read it.
Okay.
Right? So we're going to do that. And I have this handy dandy.
So this is the head?
That's the head. So what we're going to do is take this Allen key and loosen these up, and then take this out and spin it around. Now, I can't tell you countless times how many times I've seen these installed improperly, and it could be like 3 or 4 years later, and they're dead.
Yeah.
Right? Because no one took an extra, I don't know, 5 minutes to flip this around. And it's literally 5 minutes. It's just you need the right tool. Yeah. Imagine you have the long Allen key like this, it would take you forever, right? Yeah, right. Took me forever too the first time. All right. So remember that direction of flow is now pointing down. So we're just going to pull this off like that. We're going to make sure that this washer sits back down the way it's supposed to, like that. And that's pointing down, and we push it right there, and we squeeze it back in. Make sure our holes line up, and then put our screws back in. Literally not even 5 minutes. But RTFM, read the factory manual.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now I know that without a doubt that this will not fail because of an installation defect.
Right.
It can handle being on the return. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that. It should be on the supply, but it is what it is.
Being on the return, what, causes it to work harder? Or?
No, it has to do with the pressure of the system.
Okay.
So not really a big deal, like the location of the expansion tank and things like that, but it's fine. There's like I said, I'm not reinventing the wheel. If we were redoing the boiler from scratch, yeah, then it'd be done the right way. Or the optional way, should I say. Yeah. Not wrong, it's just that there's a reason why this book's called Pumping Away. All right, so here is that Taco circulator. Let's cut back these line and neutral coming from the boiler. Cut that back a little bit. We have these beautiful glorified wire nuts.
Those things are great.
These are the Wago lever connectors. Yeah. This is model 221. This is for 2 conductor, so for 2 wires. Yeah. So there's that. I already got the MC or BX connector there. Our black wire is going to be our line from the circulator. We'll put that to the yellow, and that should be the right one. Polarity doesn't really matter, I've noticed, but if you could do it the right way, it's better. There's that. Now we'll put this all in there. Now I'm wiring it before we put the circulator in position on the flange, just because it's going to be easier for me to wire it when it's in my hand versus in that tight little spot right there. So a small Phillips screwdriver will tighten that screw back down, and there it is. So we moved the circulator head pointing down, and we have a multi-positional flange here, so that can go. Looks like we're going to be putting it in that way to clear the head. So first, let's get our circulator flange gasket on top, and the one on the bottom, and carefully, let's see. Now, I'm going to have to like do a contortionist move right here. Let's see. I think my gasket fell off. Let's see. Hold on. Nope, it's still there. But now I'm hitting that pipe. So it looks like I'm going to have to put it in this way. And I don't want to do that, because now it's facing the rear. But the water heater's in the way. So unfortunately, it is what it is. So there's a light on there that tells you an indication of what it's doing, but because the water heater is smack up against the piping here, I really can't do much with that. Okay. All right. Now, let's get these bad boys in there. Now, see? That doesn't work that way. It works this way. And then these little notches in the circulator flange hold back the bolt so I can tighten it up without having to hold back. So there's one on that side. Let me get the other, and then so on and so forth. All right, circulator is bolted in. That drain is closed. If we carefully open up this, we will check for leaks. So this is the boiler feed valve. So we're taking that 60, 70, 80 psi of water pressure that's in the house. And this Taco half-inch pressure reducing valve is reducing that down to 12 psi. Okay. And hopefully we have no leaks here, because that means I didn't seat it right. So we're slowly filling that up. Now, one of the things like I'm not hearing is the air valves here, letting out any air, but we'll see. I hear that one. Oh, there it goes. See, pissing away like.
That's a good sign, right?
Yeah, but there it goes. Now it's quiet. Just manually pushing it open to fast fill it.
Now the gap here, these are all standard, right? So it's
on this.
Yeah. So
well, this is a traditional regular circulator. So from what I've seen throughout my entire career, listen, when you go into the larger commercial size, industrial size circulators, they're different sizes, and elevate and height and distance between the two. But this is a standard. Yeah, it is a standard. Even if it's like a B&G 100, which is like a real serious motor that needs to be oiled, once or twice a heating season. This is a sealed unit. It's good. We're good. So
yeah, my father-in-law has that because he was saying he always has to
oil it. Yep, B&G 100.
I never heard of that.
Yep. No.
And that's a better motor. Is that what you're saying?
Is there a valve here that's closed?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, closed. Open that. Okay, we'll open up this one.
This one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And you'll hear things swooshing around, but all right. Let's move this out of the way. Let's fire up.
Okay. So this thing just goes on back on, this plastic thing?
Yeah, I'll put that. It looks like the clip is. Oh, it's because that little notch is maybe broken. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe.
But it goes on there. There's a switch here, so that's what lines up with that. So give me that. So it's got to line those up. So one more there, and then the bottom, and there you go.
Yeah.
All right, now. All right, that circulator is in. The boiler is running. Zone 3 out of the total of 3 is on. Let's make sure that light is on. So let's go like this. And we have a nice light right there. See it?
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. There's the hole for the combustion test. All right, we're using the Testo 320.
This determines efficiency, or
this determines the condition of the exhaust gases and the overall efficiency of the process of combustion. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily give you the efficiency of the boiler, but it tells us with a percentage how efficient the flame is. Okay. And we're doing that by measuring the temperature of the exhaust gases, the amount of oxygen in the exhaust gases, the amount of carbon monoxide, and CO2. And it takes all those numbers and it gives us a percentage of that, amongst a lot of other things. So this boiler is almost at 170 degrees. And once we get to about 180, we'll clipboard those results and see where we're at. But just by looking at it now, You know, our O2 is on the low side. Our carbon monoxide is almost at 100. We like to see anything under 50. And O2 is 9. So chances are that you may have some buildup on the inside of the boiler, but may just be too much. So now you're at 5.8. (106). Again, nothing's going to kill you, you know, especially knowing that the carbon monoxide detectors you have in your home, they go off at 400. And this is where 111. But we'll clipboard that, and then we'll test draft. But, you know, for a 26-year-old boiler, or one that was made 26 years ago, not terrible. That would have sucked.
Not terrible.
Not terrible, but could be better.
Right.
Oh, gotta zero it out again. So now we'll take the probe and go up the flue with it and make sure we have negative pressure, which we do. We have good negative pressure, so we're gonna clipboard this and then we'll print the results. Alright, now we're printing the results. Got today's date and time on it, and now we know how this thing was burning on Sunday, the 22nd of March at 10:17 in the morning. Alright, perfect. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, finished up that service call. Took exactly 1 hour. I love House Call Pro. Not only does it notify the client when we're en route with a picture, you can track our position, determine when we're going to get there, but as long as you utilize the features for keeping track of your time, you'll know exactly how long you spent traveling and actually spent on service calls every day, day after day, week after week. One of the many features of House Call Pro. Check them out, housecallpro.com/Mikey Pipes. We were able to secure another maintenance agreement for the maintenance agreement warboard. And this was a 2-for-1 special. So we got them for the heating maintenance plan sign up. That's $29 a month. And essentially you're prepaying for a discounted maintenance wellness check over a period of 12 months where we come once a year in September or October. You know, we have that no stone unturned approach where we take all the burners out, we vacuum out the combustion chamber, we do a combustion and draft analysis, we check the temperature and pressures, make sure the zones are functional, things like that. Most importantly, we're documenting the results with a printout of that combustion analysis and leaving a copy on the boiler and also putting a copy in our records. You also get added benefits like no trip charges and waived emergency service call fees. It's a win-win for all parties involved. He asked about central air conditioning maintenance plan that we offer. And I said, yes, absolutely. If you want to sign up for the heating plan, instead of another $29, you know, for a month for the air conditioning plan, it's $20 a month. There's a 1-year minimum commitment. Keep that in mind, folks. And we'll be here twice a year. So we signed up for that as well. And we have one more client on that warboard towards our goal of 2,000. Slow and steady wins the race, folks. Slow and steady wins the race. And we're not stopping at 2,000 either. But nonetheless, if you enjoyed content like you just watched, let me get your thoughts and feedback in the comment section down below. The best way you can support this channel is by hitting that subscribe button. There's no cost or obligation. Hit that notification bell to get post notifications when I drop a video, which is generally every day. And I've done it every day for the past 7 or 8 years now so far. But if you don't want to do any of that, just hit that thumbs up button and show love and support for not only the channel and myself, but also my company as well. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, be well, God bless, stay safe.